Good afternoon. I'm your host, Steve Bassnett, and I would like to welcome everyone on behalf of CANASA and Security Canada to today's session. I would also like to say a special thank you to Access Communications for their support and sponsoring today's session, and definitely to welcome back Michael Almeida, who was the first to step up and help CANASA when we first launched these over a year ago. So thank you, Michael. We do appreciate that support. I'll give a quick introduction for Michael. Michael is the Intercom Regional Sales Manager for Canada for Access Communications Incorporated. Throughout his 16 years in the security industry, Michael has had the opportunity to work with various verticals and market segments. Michael has a dynamic sales ability and has collaborated with many professionals in the security industry, including consultants, distributors, integrators, and end users. His diverse experience has allowed him to provide ongoing relationships and market solutions. Michael is well known to many in the AV security and data communication industry and started with Access Communications in January 2020. His focus areas include true IP-based intercoms, access control, and speaking to open standards and third-party integration. Feel free to type any questions you may have during the session into the window below, and Michael will respond during the Q&A portion, roughly 20 minutes from now. I'll now turn the session over to Michael. Welcome, Michael, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, CANASA, for giving me one more chance to get up here and talk about 2N intercoms from Access. I want to thank everybody for joining me here today. I know it's been a tough few months or last year for everyone, and I really appreciate everybody taking some time out of their day just to sit through one more of these sessions. And again, we've been doing these so many virtual sessions, I'm excited to be presenting today in a semi-virtual format. I'm actually presenting out of our AEC in Mississauga, so I'm at the Access Experience Center presenting to you guys live. So I'm going to step out of the camera screen. I'm going to start sharing a screen, and hopefully we'll get some nice new info on the future of letting people in and up. And Steve, if you could just give me a confirmation that the slide is sharing.
Yes, sir. It looks good.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. So for all of you who are joining me here today for the first time and 2N is very new to you, I thought I'd just run through some quick housekeeping for you guys and just a little bit of history on 2N, where they come from, how did they come about. So 2N, acquired by Access just a few years ago. It's a European-based company, a little over 30 years old, located and headquartered out of Prague, Czech Republic. Their primary focus is IP-based intercoms and access control. All of our R&D, production, engineering, everything is developed right there in Europe. So we don't outsource any of that stuff. We do it all in-house. They have been the global market leader for IP intercoms, ranked by IHS. And the nice thing was they completely merged everything together from Access and 2N in January of 2020. You'll notice that was the same date Steve said I started. So I was pretty excited to be the first for Canada to join this team. And it's a very exciting merger between the two companies. Access and 2N have a lot of history and some coherent fundamentals. So that's one of the nice things about it. And what does all that mean is Access getting in and working with 2N. We've really developed and put together the largest intercom, IP intercom offering in the industry, a lot of great integration, and some good products that make it simple and quick for you to install. Now I'm going to jump into a couple of key things, and you guys have probably been seeing some buzzwords and some neat new products that we've been launching. And I think one of the most coolest flagship intercoms that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is the new IP style. So we have combined the best of IP intercoms and IP cameras in the 2N IP style. This exceptional door intercom with an amazing design, 10-inch display, perfectly complement entrances to your premium projects. It's powered by an Access RPEX 7 processor, which acts as the brains of the intercom. This is exactly one of the reasons why this door station intercom can compete with most outdoor IP cameras. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into some of the specifications on this guy, or some of the features that it supports for you guys. So it is going to have a large 10-inch display, high resolution, the RPEX 7 processor, wide dynamic range. A lot of nice inherent features built right into it. It has an IK8 vandal resistance and an IP65 weather rating. It's smooth glass, allows you to see from every angle, allowing you to have an interactive directory and multiple directory search features. It also has integrated access control with Bluetooth and RFID. The IP style is going to be launched and released later this year. Actually pretty close, coming up in a couple of months. I'm going to shift gears here a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit about access control. And not access control in the traditional method, but access control via IP. So 2N is no stranger to IP access control. We have had the Access Unit 2.0 out for several years now, and constantly updating this guy for better service and better integration. But the newly designed Access Unit M, which is going to boast some of the same features and capabilities, but in a slim mullion mount format. I'm assuming most of you have already installed a wide spread of plastic mullion readers. Maybe you don't even know the exact brand because they all look very similar. Well, let's step that installation up one notch and install a first-class, beautiful-looking reader at the door. Now I'm going to back it up a little bit for you guys, and this is something that the IP access control products from 2N carries throughout its whole product line. They are a reader and controller all in one device. What this means is connected via PoE, you have one network connection. All your physical connections for the door are managed directly to the reader. The reader is an edge-based reader. So your strike, your meglock, or your door contact and your Rex are all wired directly to your reader, which is a reader and controller all built into one. Now you're wondering how this product gets managed, and we do that through a variety of ways. We can manage it through our own Access Commander software, or we can integrate it into various VMSs or other partners as well. We also have the ability of doing weekend outputs, so you can easily transition or integrate legacy access control systems to an IP fashioned installation as well. WaveKey. Now, some of you may have already heard this buzz on social media. This is our new latest and greatest technology in Bluetooth access control. We're taking mobile access control and making it very reliable and very fast. So what do customers really want? Well, they want to just walk through an open door and do nothing special. Essentially a doorman. So let's start with what actual reason is it to have something like mobile credentials? Knowing that, let's have a look at what the current fastest growing technologies are. So some of the fundamental factors of mobile access control is speed, reliability, and security. Although 2/3 of access control administrators are actively looking for introducing a more contactless way of access control, choosing the right solution is absolutely essential if you enjoy the full range of benefits from mobile credentials. Here are 3 fundamental factors. Going through the 3 fundamental factors to determine the success of your mobile projects. So we're going to touch on speed. How long does the user have to wait before the door actually opens? So WaveKey opens door in 0.3 of a second, so you won't have any problem using this in a busy office environment. The secret lies in its unique pre-authentication system of up to 8 mobile phones within the reader's range. Far quicker authentication and a frictionless passage throughout the building, cutting time spent at the door and avoiding queues from forming. If people are to move from cards to a more secure and convenient mobile credential method, then the time authenticated, from what we've heard, needs to be similar or quicker than that of a card. One of our advancements made by the brand new 2N WaveKey technology is, again, we can pre-authenticate up to 8 users' phones before they arrive at the door. When they touch the reader, the door is already primed to open instantly within 0.3 of a second. Now you can see from the graph here up at the top, we are definitely very quick in that response time. There's a couple of competitors there as well, so we tested against their readers, and we definitely have a very fast transmission rate for that as well. And of course, our second point, reliability. Will the door open reliably on the first attempt, or do I need to try it several times? Again, speed is not everything. I just told you guys I can do it under 0.3 of a second. That's great. But however, if I have to try it several times, well, that doesn't really become fast anymore. So again, we tested this. We put it through 7 months of intense testing in a busy office environment. We tested over 15,000 door openings with 100 different phones covering 20 different brands. So we have done a lot of background work on this, and WaveKey is a technology you can definitely trust. And of course, security, the most important question or aspect out of all of it. How secure is Bluetooth? So you need to ensure a phone nearby doesn't give unauthorized access. Being a wireless transmission, that's the thing we're concerned about. So we've got a couple of neat ways to do this. We've got 4 modes of operation. So you can control which modes are available to the readers and to the users. So this gives you a little more of a tailored solution. The first 2 modes that I'm going to talk about is touch mode and motion mode. Touch mode is you can leave your phone either in your pocket or in your handbag. You can walk up to the reader and just with a simple tap onto the reader glass, either using your elbow or your hand, or even rubbing up against it, the door will authenticate and authorize and open. Motion mode is a really neat new method. This is actually integrated in with the intercom. So if you're using the reader integrated into an intercom, this creates a completely contactless way of access control. Again, the camera picks up the motion of the person in front of it. It verifies the credentials which are left in your pocket and unlocks your door or gate. So it's a very convenient new method integrated into mobile access control. And of course, my next 2 modes of operation are going to be tap and app mode, which would create a, let's say, second layer of security, because you would have to unlock your phone, click on the circle icon on the app, which again is going to open up when you get within range of the reader. And from that, you're tapping on app to release the door. This works great when you have a gate entrance or you want to unlock a door from a certain distance. You can set that range where needed. And then for that transition period where people are looking to transition from cards or fobs to mobile credentials, we do have card mode, which again acts very much like near field communication. But using that Bluetooth technology, you would take out your phone, you'd present it to the reader the same way you do a card or a fob, and it would unlock or grant access where required. So again, 4 modes of operation, giving you a little more flexibility and capability of installations. So how are we going to prevent the misuse of mobile credentials? So we have a proprietary app with an encrypted key exchange and communication. So a user knows where typically a user knows where their mobile device is at all times. I've gotten to our office several times and I put my key fob down, or I've either forgotten it at home and got to the office, but you typically don't leave home without your phone. So this creates a little bit of an extra layer. You don't have to worry about the card and that sort of information as well. And again, one of the biggest questions and one of the biggest concerns in regards to access control is solving unwanted door openings. And 2N is one of the only ones that are really looking to tackle this issue. And we were able to do this in a very neat way using algorithms with RSSI signal trends from the devices. So when you don't open the door from the app, so i.e. let's say touch mode or motion mode, the reader should know if the user is approaching or moving away from it. These are the signal feeds. So if I was walking away from the door and somebody else was walking towards the door, the reader would then connect and grant off access to that person approaching the door, not me who is leaving the door. So you wouldn't have an event or audit trail of the wrong person coming into the building. So again, we can do this through signal trends analysis, or picking up that from the, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, those 8 devices, giving us a lot of info and support from the device. And again, kind of wrapping this up for you guys. I stay weary of time, so I want to give you guys some good time for Q&A. What are the main benefits of going to mobile access control, right? We've got so many systems out there that are legacy style with cards and fobs. What would give you a reason to look at mobile access control? So of course, some of the most important things there, convenience. I think people are looking for better ways of going in and out of buildings, either horizontal access control or vertical access control. And if I don't have to have a card or a fob or physical keys, that's again one of the biggest things. You only need your smartphone to get access into that door that is controlled. The ability for any administrator issuing or revoking credentials instantly. You can log in through the web server of the device if it's down to a single door access control, or you can go in through our Access Commander software or through some of the VMS partners that we have, and you can easily issue or revoke those credentials. And of course, the biggest one out of all of them, no wasted cost. At 2N and at Access, we do not charge for mobile credentials. So you hang that reader on the wall, you pair your device, and that's it. There's no cost associated, no yearly recurring fee, no licensing, no cost per credential. That is a huge one. There's no need to issue cards anymore. There's no more physical distribution of a tangible device, and there's no need to retrieve that when it's not needed there anymore. And again, we're cutting down a lot of risks and costs associated to that. So again, everyone, I want to thank you for taking the time today. We've got a couple of minutes left for Q&A. Thank you for taking the time of listening on WaveKey and some of the new products from 2N.
Thank you, Michael. That was great. If anybody has any questions, please type them into your Q&A window now. Michael, first question. Oh, there he is.
There, I'm back.
Welcome.
Q&A. Magic.
First question, does the 2N flat screen have to be placed to address sun reflection off the screen?
No, it's got one of the newest IFS, and I might be saying that wrong, but that screen technology that allows you to see it from various angles very clearly.
Great. Next question, in card mode, does the phone need to be unlocked upon presentation to the reader?
No. The app will run in the background, so you do not need to unlock the device and open the app. If you're using it in card mode, it will just act the same way a card or a fob would.
Great, thanks. Next up, can you use mobile access? Can you use the mobile access to track people by eliminate? This is a tough one. Elimination the issue of piggybacking. One person opens the door and multiple authorized people go through the door. You want that one again?
No, I think I get that. Hopefully I can answer this correctly. If not, please, we can always reach out and look at it further. So there's a couple of ways you can address that. If it is a busy area and you want to prevent any sort of piggybacking, you can always do a two-factor method where you'd have to use your Bluetooth credentials and a PIN code. So you can set up two-factor where you use mobile and PIN. And again, those RSSI feeds, They're going to track who's kind of coming through that door, so that's going to know who's within range. Again, in any environment, if somebody was to hold open a door and allow people to come through, that would obviously be a concern, and that would be the same as any other type of access.
Great, thank you. Okay, next up. Oh, sorry.
I said, hopefully I got that one correct.
Yeah. Next up, I like this one, is the new intercom on display at ISC West this week.
Good news. Yes, it is on display at ISC West this week. So if you are calling in from Vegas, definitely go to the Access booth and check it out. And good news, I am going to have a sample here very shortly. It's on its way over from Prague right now. So we'll have one here in Canada as well.
Excellent. Next up, is your product suitable for external main door access control, and how is it powered?
So the readers, I'll answer that in twofold. The intercoms and the readers are both indoor-outdoor rated. It is a fully sealed unit, so it is designed to work within -40 to +50 temperature range. It is powered off a UTP cable, so a PoE Cat5, Cat6. However, if you cannot get PoE there, you do have the ability of attaching 12-volt input to any one of the intercoms or access control units for additional power.
Okay. With iOS, how do you manage to keep an app running in the background? How does this affect battery life?
Again, it works both on Android and Apple devices. The app is, this might be a little off from the question, but you can download that app for free from the App Store or the Google Play Store. It does run in the background. Again, battery life is one of those things. I've got it running on my phone 24/7, and we use it to grant access into our AC currently. It's really not much of a drain because as it gets within range of the readers when it starts detecting.
Great, thank you. We're going to go back to the piggybacking. There's a follow-up on that one. Actually, I wanted to allow free flow of authorized people.
So free flow of authorized people. So you want that door to, if they're authorized, just to be able to walk up and open the door and walk in. So again, you can do that by using, if you have that access control unit, either you can set up automation within the background where you can do a first man in unlock, and that would keep that door unlocked for you, or you would be using that motion on camera feature. So you'd have that access control unit integrated with a intercom, and now it's gonna authenticate while the device is either in your pocket or in your bag, and the motion of the camera is then gonna release. So you have that free flow kind of feeling there.
Thank you. Next up, does your app utilize occupancy monitoring / tracking?
No, not currently.
Okay. Next up, what is the current output of the reader?
The output of the reader, if you're powering it via PoE, you're going to be able to do a 12-volt, 400 milliamp strike. If you need additional power for possibly a crash bar or a mag lock, that's when you throw in the additional 12 volts, and that would give you a little over amp of power.
Great. Next up, any additional considerations when tying in the 2N architecture with the Axis camera station?
The intercoms will communicate directly into camera stations, so they drop in very similar to any one of our other Axis devices. They just require a core license, similar to all of our Axis products, and that would be visible in camera station, which would give you the ability of obviously viewing that camera as a video endpoint, control of that door, communication via audio through camera station. So you have all those features already built into it.
Okay, thank you. And what might be our last question here, does the new M reader work with other manufacturers' door controllers and still have the capability of using the mobile app?
So the M reader, and I flew through those slides quickly, does come in 3 models. We have a Bluetooth and RFID, we have an RFID, and then we have a touchpad in RFID. These are just the first 3 models. I think we're going to be expanding on that. The M versions do not support a weekend output. They do have a relayed output and a physical output. So you could tie into an access control board or a legacy access control system using the outputs. If you wanted to use weekend to tie back into an access control system, you'd have to stay with our previous product, the 2.0. That one can support weekend output.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to call our last question just snuck in. How many card holders / users are able to be on the system?
So 10,000 devices and 10,000 users.
Great, thank you. But there was some pretty good questions in there. You did well, my friend.
You guys beat me up pretty bad up here. No?
Yeah. You stayed on your feet.
We get knocked over.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you for joining us, and thank you to Michael and to Access Communications for their support.
Thank you, everyone.
We look forward to seeing you next week. Until then, be well.